Let me adjust my mask. Hey guys, welcome to WayPoint Digital. I'm your host, Phil, and we're just going to get right to the video. And this is a pretty exciting one that I wanted to talk about. And I do typically have schedules that I try to uphold to as far as providing content. But I think this one in particular is very important to bring out there to people because it's something to consider if you guys are looking to invest. But because we talk about TraveLog, also not financial advice, and anything in this video is not financial or legal advice, and also cTheories. And what we're going to be focusing on is cTheories, not because it's C theory, but we do want to look at some opportunities from a investor's perspective. So with that being said, we're going to jump right into the cTheory section. And the thing that I want to talk about, because we've been talking about this in a little bit more detail, and it's kind of related to some extent to something like the TBIO, which is Translate Bio, that works on mRNA technology. But the topic that I want to talk about today is cDNA, because it is related to mRNA processing and things like that. Now, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a financial advisor, as well as I'm not a legal advisor. However, I am a person that likes to read and observe a lot of things. Now, keep in mind, this particular company is not a company that I came across with randomly. It was a recommended video that someone from TikTok, and I've been getting a lot of actually really great information on TikTok, and has given me the ability to be able to kind of look up some of these other companies that are out there. And I think you guys are going to be very interested in this. And if you happen to jump into this company earlier in the year, congratulations, because you definitely made a reasonable amount of money in a very short period of time. And the company that I want to talk about is this company called Myriad Genetics. And what are they? Well, as the name describes, they're a genetics company focused on DNA. But I really wanted to point out some very important details that I think will really kind of sweeten the pot as far as anyone out there that's interested in investing in a company and projecting out what the future is going to bring. Again, you have to look at this from an investor's perspective, but I actually got this. This company was actually brought to my attention, not specifically, but the video was talking about a particular topic about what this company does. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read to you guys an article, at least just a portion of the article, of why this is important and something that definitely you want to pay attention to, kind of for the near future and for the upcoming future, as far as what to anticipate as we move forward. And it makes a lot more sense, at least for me, on a kind of a general perspective of why a lot of the mRNA technologies that are out there is out there. So kind of wrap all this stuff together in a beautiful paper and a bow, and then let's really see what this thing is going to be able to provide for us. So regardless, if you are kind of leery about some cTheories that are out there, this is actually where it came from originally, and then I kind of just dialed in more specifically to Myriad Genetics. And strangely enough, as I was prepping this video to record, the servers for Myriad, and I think it might have to do with the amount of traffic that this particular website has been gaining a lot of traction. So luckily, I was able to get on the website, and we're not going to go through their website here because, like I said, we're going to go to the article itself. So we're going to go to that right now. And this is an article back in 2013 that was written by Megan Crench. And there's going to be certain areas that we want to focus on. So if you guys actually want to find this particular article, you can actually just Google or DuckDuckGo or whatever you use and just put that in the search, and then this article is going to come up. But one of the things that I really want to point out is kind of the novel aspect about this particular technology. And again, it kind of encompasses a lot of what's going on right now, and it starts to make a lot more sense about what's going to be what we should be anticipating in the near future and into the future. So let me just go ahead and read this article for you guys. So people can have their risk of breast or ovarian cancer assessed by finding out if they have mutations in BRCA1 divided by 2. Then one can use this information to increase prevention care measures like increased screening or even having both breasts completely removed, a double mastectomy, an elective surgery recently made famous by Angelina Jolie. Myriad Genetics is the primary distributor of the BRCA half test, which costs upwards of $3,000. Because Myriad owned the patents on BRCA, we'll just call it BRC, okay, BRCA. It was the only company that could administer the test for cancerous mutations. Now, the next paragraph is one to pay particular attention to. So the Supreme Court ruled that genes cannot be patented because natural phenomena are not patentable. That's good news for doctors, researchers, and anyone who doesn't like the idea of a company owning patents rights to pieces of your body. It also opens up BRCA testing to labs other than Myriad. But the court also ruled that cDNA, an edited man-made copy of the gene, can be patented. I'm going to read that section again. It also opens up BRCA testing to labs other than Myriad, but the court also ruled that cDNA, an edited man-made copy of the gene, can be patented. Ruling the cDNA can be patented will have important consequences for research, including research to discover new disease treatments and create new genetic tests. Okay, cool. I'm not going to read any more of the article. Like I said, you guys can do a search. Maybe I'll put it in the description below. But anyway, let's go back to the Myriad website here. And again, put at this sense, right? You want to keep your blinders off or on, right? And we want to focus this on a lens from an investor's perspective because we want to really dive in to see what opportunities that this can provide for us as both weirdos as well as investors ourselves, maybe for the short-term and long-term endeavor that we have or goals, depending on what your view is. So what we're going to do is we're going to skip all the way down to events and presentations. Okay? And this is something that I highly recommend to do as well, especially since if you are considering investing in companies, you want to do a little bit of background, obviously, to see what the potential is, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the presentation here. So again, we're not going to look into great detail. Like I said, this is something that you can do on your time. This is a public website. Hopefully you guys can access this website, and there's a lot of really great information here that I think will be beneficial to you to understand what this company does. And I have a more kind of science fiction, and it's not going to be science fiction. I think it's going to be science nonfiction as time passes. However, so there's some really good highlights numbers wise that I think we have to key on with a company like this. And again, considering that genetics, RNA, DNA are heavily trending industries right now. This is something I think that we need to pay attention to. And luckily, we had the opportunity to be able to look at TikTok videos that presented this. And like I said, I didn't save the address to that TikTok. And what I'm going to do next time is whenever I come across these types of topics, I'm going to make sure that I put that in the description below so that you guys can actually see the source of where I get this from, because I think that's important as well. So I apologize to the TikToker who made this video in regards to that. just kind of moving forward. Like I said, sometimes it's in the middle of the night and I'm just watching TikTok videos. Hey, whatever. Anyway, let's get back to this. So, what their project phases are. We're not going to skip to that. We're going to go right to their products. So Gene site, blah blah blah. Financials, quarterly. Oh, this wasn't the presentation that we were looking for. Maybe it's this one. I think it's this one. Sorry guys. This is the one that we wanted to look at. We want to look at some of the products that they have, and they're already out in market. One of the markets that they're actually quite established in right now is in Japan, and it seems like it's been growing very well, as you can see. And then on top of that, you can see all the different product lines that they have. So they're not limited to just a handful of smaller products. There's a number of them that I think is going to be beneficial both to society, but also to trigger a lot of the conspiracy theories that are out there as well. It is what it is, guys. So on and so forth. Oh, I thought that said Illuminati. Anyway, you guys, I'd highly recommend taking a look at their investor presentation so that you guys can get a better idea of why I think this is going to be something that you want to pay quite a bit of attention to in regards to maybe adding this to your portfolio. I know I'm going to put in a little bit of money as well, just to just for shits and giggles and things like that. But so with that being said, we're gonna skip all this, blah blah blah. There's some good information there, and it's something unlock the power of your genetics to improve and transform lives. All right, and one of the interesting aspects here that I want to describe, and it's possibly not showing. It's not going to show up on a presentation like this, but the potential ability for people to choose, who they really want to be. So obviously we're in a situation now, right, where a lot of people have the ability to fully express who they are, and I think in my opinion that's actually a really good thing, or to be able to alter themselves in the way that they view themselves. So again, these are very positive aspects about what technology can provide, and we're living in a gilded age where we have that opportunity, we have that luxury. But on top of that, it's no longer a science fiction story. So maybe if someone wants to be, a werewolf, the potential there is now much closer to reality than being some abstract concept that was dreamed up years ago. This was years in the making, and we're finally at that stage now that the potential ability for people to become hybrids or to have, and this is just my own perspective, and this is how I've been interpreting what's going on here, and this is part of the reason why I believe this is going to be a very big thing, because on top of all the strange coincidences that are happening and all the treatments that some people are getting, that kind of encompasses what's going on in this technological space, and it's worth taking at least a little bit of a gander on what the cDNA technology is and why it's related to RNA and gene sequencing. So again, you can find that article that I read earlier. But what we want to do now is transition over into the investor side, like I said. So if our perspective, right, has blown up to this, we want to kind of focus it down to this so that we can make a rational decision on whether or not this is going to be a company that, at least for me, like I said, it's brought to my attention. I'm definitely interested in it, but keeping kind of a top level view, right, of what's going on in the market today, kind of more broadly, it's important to suggest that there are different opportunities that are being presented to us. And on top of maintaining a positive perspective, but also being cognizant about some of the some of the different aspects about what these types of technologies and what's going on in the world is providing for us. So again, I mean, it's a double-edged sword, right? You got to pay to play. You can't win if you don't play, but you can't lose if you don't play either, right? So it's, again, hey, it is what it is, right? But anyway, let's go to the give me a second, guys. I'm sorry. Nope. MYGN, I guess. Nope. Let's see. Myriad stock. There you go. MYG. Yeah, MYGN. I don't know why it didn't show up. Oh, it's right here. Okay. So it's a almost a $3 billion company, right? Myriad. The stock market this week was kind of a toilet dump. Anyway, and like I said, if you guys jumped into this company about a year ago, you've almost tripled your money. So hands down to anyone who has who jumped in at that particular time. And as you can see, over the course since 1995, so this company is no spring chicken. Okay, it's been around for a while, but it's gone through stages of turmoil, and it's gone through stages of elation and turmoil throughout the years, right? So this isn't, if you were going on a hike, this would be a pretty brutal hike, especially going downhill, bad for the knees. Anyway, me particularly, the PE ratio, the price to earnings ratio, it's a little high, but not unexpected for something like a genetics company, with some breakthrough technology. So it's important to be able to kind of put that in your wheelhouse of, oh, can you rationalize or at least justify for yourself that maybe this PE ratio is justifiable. And what's unique about this compared to something like TBIO, which generates revenue from investor money, they're actually selling products. So their earnings per share, while pretty small, so 26 cents against the $33, it's pretty low, but they're on the board. They're on the game board. They're putting up a score. And again, so there's been some positive aspects about what this company is doing, and then on top of the Supreme Court allowing them to patent the cDNA. So just wrap your head around that. All right. So if you just accumulate all these types of information that we can use to provide a quantification of where this company is going, I think it's safe to say that this is a company that's really going to be moving forward by leaps and bounds as it gains more traction over time. And so another aspect I think that we also should be considering when deciding this, and again, I might consider buying this during this week. I'm not really sure yet. I'll let you know. But anyway, so there's 101% on float. So let's look at the option changes real quick. See where they're at. Okay. So 9.3. Okay. Not a wide spread, but that's October 15th. Okay, so there's not so large of a spread for options, and it's doesn't look too bad as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, the thing that I really want to point out here is that 101.25%, and this is all going to be dependent on the record date, obviously. but look at the top institutional holders, right? So since June 29th. Sorry, I should have just said that outright. So maybe this record is going to be a little bit off as far as timing goes, but again, a company that's already generating revenue, it's a breakthrough technology, it's what's going on right now, right? It's something to look at. And if I can do a follow-up video in regards to this, but this is a spicy technology or a spicy company, you know, that that might be a good reason to look at. Again, this is not financial advice. This is a C theory, but open your mind to the possibility that I think down the road, you know, if you've ever seen articles going on out there in regards to, you know, hybrid, you know, people changing their genetics so that they have the genetics, say, for, like I said, a wolf, and wanting to become half wolf, half man, you know, a company like this with this type of technology opens up the potential for someone to be fully expressive of who they are, um, and project out to the world um, who they are internally. So again, in my opinion, that is a wonderful thing. But there's also multiple sides to a lot of what this luxury provides for us. And I believe that we have to look at it as a luxury, that we live in the times today that choices like those have now become or becoming available to us. And it's a positive thing. I believe we should have that opportunity to be able to express ourselves in the full extent possible, you know, and it might offend people sometimes, and I believe that in certain situations, right, it's going to come from a lot of different angles, in very much the same way that there are a lot of different uh, uh, there's a lot of different aspects that'll come out of this that are both positive and negative. But I also believe, like I said, for the individual, this is a really positive step into being able to express oneself in a new way. But on top of that, there's going to be treatments that are going to be available now that is going to help a lot of people as well. So there's a lot of, you know, to be able to unpack this in one video is going to be very difficult, because there's a lot of you know, economic, social, health, personal, um, philosophical issues that come into mind. Religious. There's a lot of different things. However, we like I said, we're in a society in a gilded age, and that's my honest opinion. And we're living with more luxuries than we've ever had before. And beyond the aspect of luxury, as this kind of moves forward, there's going to be greater opportunities down the road that will potentially provide new and novel ways that people will be living. And it's a very interesting kind of concept to wrap your head around. But that's it for this video. I do want to close with a game, or talk about a game that I played more recently that I believe that people might be interested in. And this is not sponsored. There's nothing on this video that's sponsored. This, you know, so I'm not sponsored by Yahoo or anything like that. But there's this game called Observer. It's a sci-fi thriller horror adventure game that I highly recommend. They recently released a you know, kind of a redone version of it with better graphics, more content, and stuff like that, and it's worth checking out. But if you guys are into sci-fi, if you love Rutger Hauer, if you guys are familiar, he was in Blade Runner, Lady Hawk, you know. So if you like Rutger Hauer as an actor, and you like sci-fi, sci-fi mystery games with a hint of horror and whatnot, this is a game to check out. Again, this is not sponsored. This is a game that I played that I absolutely loved, and actually, I wouldn't mind actually playing it again. And it's not a VR game too. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and don't forget to like and subscribe and share this video if you liked it. I know that the video is raw, and I go in a lot of different directions, but that's just how my mind thinks, and I hope that you guys like it. But anyway, have a wonderful day. Enjoy the rest of Sunday and the rest of the week, and tune in next time as we talk more, and I'll keep you guys updated if I did purchase this particular company. Thank you guys very much, and have a wonderful day.